Hey everybody, it's Matt from You and Your Horror Movies, and welcome to another Top 10 Tuesday. This week I'm doing my top 10 black and white films that I like to see get restored and put on Blu-ray. A lot of companies have been putting out the old classics, which is pretty cool. Film Detective has been putting out certain titles. Warner Brothers has been putting out some of their black and whites on nice transfer Blu-ray. Screen Factory has done some. They just released 4 more Hammer films on like the collection, which is like dirt cheap. So who knows? Some of these are run of the mill. They're on every single fat pack. They're public domain. If Night of the Living Dead, which is a huge public domain film, got incredible Criterion Blu-ray, some of these should get them too. I know Little Shop of Horrors did, which I think is out of print, which is hard to find. But anyway, here's my top 10 films that are black and white. We'd love to see get a release. Now, probably some of these have releases in other parts of the world, but I'm mostly going for the U.S. since I'm in the U.S. But if these do have a release somewhere else, let me know. All right, number 10 from 1920. That's called The Golem. The Golem is a pretty cool flick. It's a silent film where this town has constructed a clay golem, like a protector. It's got this amulet and everything. Well, this evil, I want to say, he's not like a sorcerer or something, manages to take control of the golem and use it for bad. Because he wants the girl for himself and everything. He wants the kingdom. It's a pretty cool little flick from the 1920s. For a silent era film, I think there's other versions out there that got damaged or destroyed, but who knows? Maybe they can find an extra copy or find something and maybe get this transferred over. You never know. It's a public domain film. You can get it pretty cheap online. So Golem's pretty cool flick. So that's the back right there. It's all black. Wait. Number 9 is another public domain film. Again, sorry about that. It's in like every single fat pack out there. And then, of course, is the giant Gila monster. I wanted a single release just to have on the shelf. Again, small town being destroyed by a giant Gila monster. And, of course, they use a real lizard. And they use models and stuff in the background to make the monster look big. It's a cool little fun flick from the 1950s. So you can't expect much. Again, from the atomic era, big monsters were roaming the earth and destroying everything. But again, I would like to see this maybe get a cool release. But you never know. Maybe it's so public that they probably think no one will buy it. Who knows? I know I would. Number 8 is another one from 1958. And that's called Night of the Blood Beast. This one's about a scientist coming back from Earth. And of course he starts to mutate into this hideous monster. And of course he needs the taste for blood to survive. And of course, it's a cool little creature feature flick. This one, again, is from 1958. I think this is on public domain as well. But again, it'd be kind of cool to find this, get maybe a cool upgrade to a cool blue version from maybe Warner Brothers or Film Detective. I don't know. I don't think Film Detective does creature features. I think they do more of the mystery type films. But anyway, we kind of need someone to pick up Night of the Blood Beast. Alright. Number 7. Going with the Leopard Man from 1943. Yep, 1943. Pretty much, this leopard escapes from the zoo. And someone is going around with this claw-like weapon, attacking people and using the leopard as a scapegoat. Pretty cool twist what happens to this one girl. I remember my mom talking about this, how it scared her as a kid. And she always remembered, forgot the name of it. Then I told her I found the copy. She's like, oh my god. So someday I'm going to sit with my mom and we're going to watch this together. If she wants to see it. It's been so long, who knows with her. But it's a great little flick. It's got a cool twist to it. Kind of like a Tales from the Crypt type twist. So, yeah, the Leopard Man from 1940s. That'd be kind of cool to get a single release. Alright, number 6 is from 1955, and it's a Spanish film called monster. Kind of like a take on Frankenstein, but it's reversed. Where the scientist is this disfigured individual, he's this rich tycoon who's lived up in his castle, and this one girl happens to be kind of like a news reporter, and she goes to interview him, and he falls in love with her, and she's kind of like with it, but he's kind of snooping and realizes that she's up to no good, so he develops a monster who happens to be a normal individual looking to sneak in and try to get information from her to him. It's a cool little flick from a Spanish film. I think this was, I think it's just got English subs, if I remember correctly. Yep, Spanish with English subs. Yep, and it's pretty cool how this film worked out. Never knew anything about it until I found it. Someone put it on YouTube before, and it's a kind of cool, like, again, a reverse version of Frankenstein. That's how I look at it as. Excuse me. Number 5. Again, from the 1950s. This one is 57. The whole giant bug era, the atomic age, everything was giant creatures. And that is beginning of the end. This one is about giant killer locusts that are going around devouring everything in their path. Well, they end up being normal locusts who got involved in an experimental feed. And of course, after eating it, they start growing. And of course, they're eating people, and they're attacking buildings. They're using like cardboard buildings and putting like real locusts on it to make them look like they're big. So again, it's from the 1950s. They had to use what they had to use. It's a great little flick. I know this doesn't have a Blu-ray, but again, I would love to see this one get picked up by someone. But again, that's how it is. But beginning of the end, cool giant killer bug flick. Number 4. Again, from, this one is from the, I just had it too. Gonna do a strange, weird pause and not find the date because it's hard to see. But fuck it, I'm gonna say 1940s to 1950s. That's the Tingler with Vincent Price. This one's about, this creature that latches on to people's spinal columns and pretty much sucks them dry. Well, the only way to see them is through, X-ray beams or whatever. And the way to get the creature off was to make you scream. So of course, there's one individual who wants to use this creature for bad, and it was actually a pretty cool tale of how this movie was done. I'm going to like to see this one get a cool release. Surprised it hasn't. And again, when the movie was released in the theaters, they rigged seats. So at a certain point, you would get a shock. It would make you jump and scared. So you thought you had the Tingler on you. So it was working for what it was from that time era. Nowadays, someone will probably get shocked and, sue the theater or someone. So it kind of ruined ruined it for everybody. But again, this was a pretty cool flick. If you've never seen the Tingler before, highly, highly recommend it. Number 3, this was put out by Criterion from 1958, and that is A Fiend Without a Face. Now, they put out the DVD, they never put out a Blu-ray. Again, I'd love to see maybe Criterion just take this and transfer it over to Blu-ray. That would be kind of cool. And I could give this copy to my father-in-law, because he likes this movie as well. And pretty much they find the army's using radioactivity, and they come to find out there's these brain aliens that happen to be invading Earth, but they're invisible. No one can see them. You hear this weird squishing noise. When they latch onto you, they pretty much suck your brain fluid or the spinal fluid out of you and eat you from the inside. So with radioactivity, they become visible. So they're known as these weird brain creatures with stems and antennae and all that shit. It's a fun little creature feature from the 1950s. Criterion did a great job with the DVD. Again, I'd like to see this maybe into a Blu-ray. Add more features to it. I don't know what else they could do, but kind of cool. Number 2. This was another, I want to say maybe a public domain film from 1958. A little more sci-fi-ish, but it works for what it works for, a creature feature. And that is The Crawling Eye. bought this at Barnes and Noble. I'm like, oh shit! I've never seen this movie and fell in love with it. About research facility up in what part of the mountains? Uh, oh, they're in the Swiss mountains, and there's always this weird cloud just staying in one spot. And the scientists are kind of baffled. Meanwhile, there is this train going through. It has a woman that's pretty much psychic. Well, she notices something going on with that weird cloud. So they kind of find out there's these another weird brain, one-eyed monsters that have tentacles on them that are living in these clouds because they can live in that atmosphere. So of course they descend down and start attacking the research facility and everyone that's up in the research stations because they're starting to find bodies of people. It's a great little flick. I'm surprised no one picked this up. I really like The Crawling Eye. Again, for the 1950s. If you've never seen it, guys, if you're into those type of movies, highly recommend checking that one out. And my number one from, where are you? Come on. 1951. Again, it's The Thing from Another World. This is the one that inspired John Carpenter to do his Thing remake. It's pretty much the same. And this one's got... what's his name? Oh, fuck, wasn't it played the creature? Oh, James Arness. He plays the monster. And not like your typical Thing movie where people are being transformed into a parasite creature that's making you into a clone and you're splitting in half. No, this is like a giant dude. It's kind of like almost like a plant-like creature. He runs amok through the research facility. And of course, it's up to these scientists to stop the Thing from another world. And again, this spawned the remake, which is an awesome remake. And this is an awesome film. Again, if you've never seen this one, if you love the movie The Thing, this is a definitely must own because this is what started it all. Again, I would love to see this get a special feature Blu-ray. I'm surprised no one's picked it up. Maybe there's rights issues or some issues doing it. The DVD is put up by Dolby Digital, I think, or I don't know, Warner Brothers. Maybe it's Warner Brothers. Maybe Warner Brothers will put this out on Blu-ray since they're doing a Blu-ray line. That would be awesome. I would love to see that. If you think so too, guys, let me know. All right, that is my top 10 list of black and white films that would love to see get the special treatment or a better transfer over because they're getting kind of pretty hard to see, but nowadays they can transfer that shit over and it looks pretty good. Let me know in the comments down below, guys, your thoughts. What would you like to see get a Blu-ray? Or what black and white movies, classic ones, that I would love to see get that special treatment. Alright, guys, thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my little list. Please let me know in the comments down below. Love to hear your thoughts, guys. Peace.